Hello everyone, Mr. Hissner here. Today I'm going to show you all how to make a matching quiz in Schoology using your existing material. This is a big key here, and just kind of adopting what you have on a traditional handout matching quiz, which I'm sure we all do, into just a quick, easy way to doing this to Schoology. I'm actually going to show you how to even make it so you can kind of put two versions of the quiz in one. And that way you can kind of give students of different variations, different versions of the matching quiz on the same topic. So without further ado, let's just jump into it. So here I am in my Schoology folder. So this is my curriculum. This is a PDF. So here's a little matching quiz I have. I want them to match these up with the properties. And so I'm just going to show you all how to kind of adopt this, put this into Schoology. Now, the first thing that I want to do is, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller, is I'm going to hop into my resource folder. Being in the resource folder is going to help a tremendous amount because this means that you can pull them from banks and they will always stay here. So I'm going to go into my unit here, and I'm just going to do a new question bank, and I'm going to title it Properties of Equality. Matching quiz. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Matching quiz. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I am going to just go down to here. I'm going to add a matching. Okay, and so now I'm just going to simply kind of do, okay, so I'm going to take the directions, match this, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to simply match these up. So I'm just going to write just what I have here. K is equal to 3, then 3. And I'm going to do this, it looks like 16, so this is 4, so I need 12 more. So I'm going to go ahead and add these. I'm just going to go through and add the rest of these. All right, so this is one of the matching. Always do allow partial credit. This means that if they get one wrong, that it won't mark the whole thing wrong. If you don't check this box and they get one wrong, then the whole thing will be wrong. So this was my first question. I'm going to go ahead and do the second question and then show you all how to set up your matching quiz such that a student may have one or the other, but there's no chance that so that way they all don't have the same matching quiz. Alrighty, everyone, I'm back in my sandbox course, and I've completed those questions in my resources folder. Let me just actually hop into the resource folder and show you guys. So, all right, so we have the matching questions. So one of them is longer than the other one, but you can see here, this one uses the properties more than once, and then this one uses the properties exactly once. So my idea is, you can give it multiple days in a row. You can put some of these on homeworks. You can put some of these on quizzes. It's just good to have in your resources folder because of that. So here I am now into my sandbox course, and I'm going to just simply create a quiz, and I'm going to call it the Properties of Equality vocab quiz. I always make my quizzes 5 to 10 points. I don't know. It's just who I am. And I'm going to pick quiz. And away we go. Add question. Questions from bank. I'm going to do individual. There we go. This one. I'm going to pick the big one. And so this will give me just this question. So one thing you want to do, you want to always have an enable date. You absolutely have to have an enable date, like enable until. You have to. I typically will do it for a quiz, the end of the period, whatever this may be, maybe the end of the day, depending. But if you don't have this, they'll be able to go home and do it, and that's not what you want. I'm not going to do multiple attempts on here. I'm not going to do timed. There's only one question, so I don't need to do page breaks. It needs to be resumable. Review submissions, if you're going to have a bunch of, so what I'll do with the review submissions for a vocab quiz is I will let them view submissions while they're in class. And then once they leave class, I'll actually change this to no. And the reason I'll do that is that let's say I have a kid absent or someone taking the quiz in another class later. They can't meet with their other friends and see like, hey, what questions were on the quiz. When you do view submissions, they can go back at any time and see which answers they got and which ones were correct. So it's going to be key that you enable and disable these. So it's a real big deal. So view submissions. When they're in class, the second class ends, I always remember, turn them off. That way they can't show anyone after class. Okay, so save changes. And so that would be like for one. But let's say you have multiple of these vocab quiz. So what you could do instead, well, let me just edit this one. What you could do instead is, instead of just picking the one, so I would go to the question bank, random questions, go to my, where I put it in my bank, in this one, and it is properties of equality matching quiz. Notice there's 2 questions. Like, so if I made 3 matching questions, if I made 4, it would draw randomly from those. And what's great about doing this is, as I always try to do this for my quizzes, is that, well, I'm just going to assign them 1 of the 2. And they don't know which one they're going to get. And then simply, same as before, except maybe you can even give them multiple attempts. So let's say, for example, if you had 4 questions for it to choose from, you could give them 2 or 3 attempts. You could give them at least 2, and it's a very small chance that they would actually get the same quiz twice. So that's great to do for students. You give them the ability to do some mastery exercises, some using feedback. They get to go back in and use feedback, rather immediate feedback. They can even talk to you about them, talk to their friends about them, then try the quiz again. So it's really a great way to allow them to participate in more of an autonomous classroom, is to have more than one of these, give them multiple chances, give them multiple attempts, and if they're your best kids, they'll appreciate it. If it's your worst kids, they'll appreciate it. It doesn't matter what level your students are at, when you take that extra time and put a couple extra questions in there and give them a couple extra attempts, anyone who benefits from that will appreciate it. So let's see what it looks like. If you want to see what it would look like, you would go here to preview, start new attempt, and now this shows you what it would look like. Oh, and look, I got the smaller ones. This one had 9, the other one had 16. So I can just go through and this is the reflexive property. Reflexive is A for me. Oh, wow. And it even gives you this little line. At the end of it, it looks pretty bad. Transitive property, G. Substitution property, H. And so you'll see they start to connect, and it makes it look good. The other thing, too, is that you can tell your kids that you can zoom in on these. If they have trackpads or iPads, they can always zoom in. So I never really worry about how small I make the things. I always tell the students, just be sure that you know how to zoom in on your computer properly, and it'll work out. All right, guys, and there you have it. That is a easy and quick way to take your existing material, your existing matching vocab questions, and adapt them to the online format. So I was using Schoology, but yeah, this is another easy thing to do. The idea with this too, why is this easy? Well, it takes the burden off of you from grading them. Maybe you like to grade papers, and that's fine. But my time is precious, and for me, the more things that the computer can grade for me, the better. Number 2 thing that it does is it helps facilitate an online or an autonomous classroom. Because you can give them multiple questions, multiple exams in one exam, then they have the ability to go back and try it again. Timely feedback is a huge thing for students. They know what they got wrong right away. They can talk to you about it. They can get deeper into why it was wrong, and then they can try it again. So you also add a layer of mastery by doing this. So it's an excellent way to adapt what you have, kind of bring it into the 21st century, and add some of these best practices that we've been seeing. So that works so well. So again, Mr. Isson here. Thanks for watching, guys.